Welcome to the revised University of Michigan Trade Report. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we take are for educational purposes. Everything we discuss is for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully. Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our YouTube stream if you're out there watching. So let's get started. This is our last trade room of the week. And today's trade rooms were mostly planned on being educational. Next week's actually an interesting week. We've got the jobs report, which is a family money trade. We've got the ISM manufacturing and services reports. We've got Amazon earnings and Google earnings. So there's a lot going on next week, a lot of reports. Now, this report is revised data. We talk about data all the time. Let me record this. Like I said, I'm always talking about different types of data, and different types of data drives a report. Usually, so there are some reports where you have the main report itself, and then you have the revised data. Like 10 days later, you'll get the same report and the data is revised upward or downward. And sometimes it can have an impact. Historically, we've never traded, we've never had a DMM, a daily report, for reports that have revised data. But over the years, I've just noticed that some of the reports move a little bit better than others when their data is revised. And University of Michigan, because it is an inflation report and it is a consumer confidence report, it sometimes can have a move. So let's take a look. Let me put the news up and I'll pull out some videos and you can see for yourself how it's been responding. The thing to realize is that University of Michigan, as a report on its own, the main report, has not been doing very well. Pretty sure it got stopped last couple of weeks ago. In fact, let's look at that also. That I think will help. I think that in these volatile markets, I want to use a slightly bigger bracket on these smaller reports, or I think some of these smaller reports are trap trades. Even though the PCE price report didn't work this morning as a trap trade, I still think there is potential for quite a few of these reports as a trap trade. Just like I was saying this morning in the earlier trade room, just because a test setup doesn't work once, that doesn't mean you rule it out as a setup that you're going to use regularly. Okay, so that's important to realize. Now, I'm just curious. I'm going to look at a 30-second chart on this for today on gold. And I'm going to also, on the right, I'm going to look at the NQ. I just want to see if the NQ, how the volatility is. Is it moving in chunks still, points? Is it calmed down at all? Just want to watch the NQ. I don't trade the NQ for 10 o'clock reports. Very, 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 very rarely, because I believe that there is a 10 o'clock move not related to news with the indexes. There's a lot of traders that trade half-hour breakouts, especially the 9:30 to 10. So you could see the market's opening, so that of course things are going to be somewhat volatile for a little while. It'll calm down. Let's look at University of Michigan. So let me pull up. I'll tell you what I'll do. I wasn't really planning to do it quite this way, but we can. So the last University of Michigan report was about 15 days ago. And I'll show you the DMM, even though this is not today's DMM, okay? In December, it was canceled. November and October, it traded pretty well. In July, it was a tiny move. And in August, it was a bad fill, okay? And this is important. This report is on probation, even after we restored it in July. July was okay, but August and September illustrated the need for a larger bracket in the current market environment. It tends to have a small but frenetic reaction in the first 5 seconds, then settles down after 10 seconds to make a solid move after that. Normally, a target of 5 ticks should be safe, okay? So I think the bracket should be 10, not 8. I think the markets are crazier than we think. And I think if we look at last 2 weeks ago's report, I'm almost positive it was a stop out. Let me pull the report up. So the date of that would have been January 14th. I can't imagine that I don't have it. The video, you know what? Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm 99% we got stopped. Oh, you know what? We didn't have a trade room that day, and I was recording it and talking to someone also. So you can't see the trade, but it's going to shoot. And it was a loss, okay? So it looks like it hit the first target and reversed. That's what it did. It hit the first target and reversed, okay? Hit the first target and reversed. Hang on one second. I gotta fix something. So I don't call hitting the first target and reversing a loser. That's not generally a loser, okay? If it hits the first target and reverses so fast that you can't get out of the trade with your profit, that's a loser. Sometimes you will not take the profit when it hits your first target. Sometimes you'll just move your stop up halfway or part of the way. You know, you might do something to make yourself safe so that if you get stopped, you won't lose any money. Now, the first target's small. It's only 5 ticks. And the second target is only 8, okay? So what I want to do is pull out an older DMM just by, we'll go a couple of DMMs older. I just want to get a sense give you a sense how this report is trading, okay? This was December's DMM, and it was a 50-50. Nope, sorry, let's check the right thing. Okay, it was benched, so 2 losses, 3 wins, October, November. So starting July to November 12th, you got 3 wins, 2 losses. And then you have a cancel. So it's 3 and 3. It's a fifth. The main report's been a 50-50 since we brought it back in July. Okay, it's been a 50-50. So that tells you it's a coin toss. The trade's a coin toss. I'm not super interested in using real money on a Friday after a pretty profitable week. I mean, we made a little bit. We made a decent little profit on Australia. We lost $40 on the API. We made money on Microsoft. No trade on Intel. great trade on Apple. We made a decent amount of money this week. I'm not throwing money back to the market on a 50-50 report. Yeah, it can work, but it's a Friday, and I'm not going to end my weekend with a report that I wouldn't trade my family's money. Okay, I would not trade my family's money on this report, so I'm not going to do it on a Friday. You know what? If it was Wednesday, I might do one contract and take a shot. That's the truth. So let me show you a couple of things, but let's also look at the videos. I'm sure I have videos for what we call the revised reports. So the main report, and let me see, let me find them. I should have revised. Normally I do. So I've got October's revised. Okay. So we'll take a look at October. I've got, now we only started doing this again in July, so there's not going to be that many videos. Okay. I got October. March is too old. I've got June is a little old, but we could take a look at it. And it looks like that's what we got. Okay, that's what I see. Most of the others, so we haven't been trading a lot of the revised. So let's take a look at the two that I have. Let's go back to June, which is a little bit old. I think the markets are kind of old to really think that this has any meaning. Okay, but let's look at it anyway. So revised data, normally you wouldn't think would be very impactful. But again, I think the market is looking at this report even with revised data. So the news comes out, it's very negative, okay? Or not very negative, but negative. And gold goes the way you wouldn't expect on a negative report. But we don't really care anymore. We just can't expect gold to go the direction we think on news. But as long as it goes, that's okay. This did not really go, right? It did delayed go. After 30 seconds, it acts like a news trade. So that was way back in June. All right. Then let's look at October's revised. Oh, so October, I don't have a video, I don't think. I just have a profit. So we made money in October on the revised. Let me look one more place, see if there's a video there. Yeah, I agree, Mark. I will trade the strong setups regardless of what happened in the week. I agree. I do want a little bit stronger on a Friday because I don't want the psychology of a really bad trade, especially an unnecessary bad trade on a Friday. Because I don't want it ruining my weekend. And there is a tremendous, even though I say all the time how I'm perfect as a human being psychologically, no one's perfect. And if you have a miserable trade that you shouldn't have taken, it'll affect your weekend. It doesn't have to ruin it, but it'll affect it. And frankly, I'm feeling great. This was a challenging week, and we had a very positive week. So I'm trading, as Mark says, the best of the best setups. That's what I'm interested in trading, the best of the best. Okay, I do have the revised video. Let's look at October. Okay, here's the setup. Orders on the chart, it gets filled short. Okay, there we go. Orders on the chart, fill short. Hits the first target, move the stop to break even, shrink the target. Not a great follow through, but it gives you 9 ticks total. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. So I'm watching the NQ. And the NQ is absolutely pretty chunky, right? Pretty chunky. Gold can be pretty chunky too. So I don't mind taking a break, to be honest. With the volatility in these markets today, do you need to be potentially throwing your money away at the market, especially if you've had some winning trades this week? Do you need to throw your money away? Don't you? I mean, it's like Mark says, usually it's nice to be done by the open on Friday. And most of the times we are. We'll trade the jobs report. That's at 8:30, right? And at 8:30, it's still a very tradable market. But I'm thinking weekend by the time 9 o'clock runs around on Friday. I'm thinking, let me get my work done and do some of the things that I need to do to get ready for the weekend. You know, create my trade of the week video, do all the stuff that I have to do. I'm not looking to throw money away unless it's a great setup. That's the truth. Now, folks, there's a lot of people watching us on YouTube. If you'd be kind enough, give us a like, sign up for the channel, and hit the notification bell. We stream 4 times a week at least, live trades, live trade rooms. And it is a good day to practice, go over your process, go over your trades, and think about all the things that you did right and wrong. You know, I really agree with that. So here's the setup. If I was going to trade this today, here's the setup I would use. Given the volatility of the markets today, I'd use a bracket of 10. I'd use bigger targets. I think if the trade's going to work, it's probably going to reward you. I don't think it's going to be a tiny move. Ticks targets of 7 and 19, and I think a bigger stop slightly is warranted. A 13 tick stop. It's not really that much bigger. And the entry time is 9:59:59. Okay. I think this is one of those trades that we can test as a trap trade. I really do. 9:59:59. So this is the breakout. We can use micro gold to do a trap test. I'll show you how I would do it. So a trap trade is less slippage, okay? By definition, a trap trade has less slippage because you're going the opposite way of the market. When the market sells, we're buying. When the market buys, we're selling. So you're always getting less slippage when you go in the opposite way. When you're chasing, jumping on a moving train concept, you're dealing with slippage. Now, I always show people this video that I have handy. This is natural gas, and this is tons of positive slippage. Okay? That was a natural gas trade that went way through our orders and gave tons of positive slippage. That happens often, okay? It's plenty of times that you'll get positive slippage. It's not always negative. Slippage doesn't always work against you. That's what people don't realize, and they're such babies about it. Oh, I don't want to trade the news because the slippage is too much. I can't take it. No, doesn't work that way. Orders of 8 and 16. tiers of 8 and 16. The trade report is released at 10 o'clock, entry time, 10 o'clock. And I'll put my orders on the chart 5 seconds before. And my stop is going to be 23 ticks. Okay. Everything else is default. It's default. That's my trap setup. So easy to set up the trap trade. Okay. Now let's do all the things that you need to do, whether you're trading real, fake, live, sim. Check your sync. How do we check our sync? By going to the website time.is, and it puts me in sync. And we've talked many times that if you're in the trade room, right, and you're a trade room member, there is a room drive. That's the room drive. In the room drive is a program called D4 Time. If your computer doesn't get put into sync, by going to time.is, download D4 Time, and that will help you sync your computer. It's just another tool to sync your computer. You can also use the Windows method. Click on the time on your taskbar, right click time on your taskbar, adjust date and time. And the reason we don't use the Windows method is because it's buggy. When you click on the date and time window, it comes up like this: click sync now, and then watch it give me an error. Time synchronization failed. Usually it works. It usually actually works, but it always gives an error. People get upset. They want to spend time tech supporting it. That's why we have other methods. Okay. Then go check your sync. Always make time.is your final check. Go to time.is after you sync with Windows. Bingo. I'm in sync. Okay. Being in sync when you trade the way we trade is vital. It's not a minor issue. It's a critical issue. If your computer is 2 seconds off and we have a trade that enters 1 second before the news, the sync can cause a losing trade when everybody else in the room has a monstrous winning trade. Okay. So don't screw around with sync. Get your stuff, you get yourself set up so that your sync is working perfectly. Okay. I don't know what I would do without Instacart and Grubhub. I would die. I would be starving. I would have run out of food. I would be dead without Instacart and Grubhub. So I ordered, we're getting a big storm, right? I didn't want to go to the supermarket yesterday. So I ordered from Instacart. They put the food in such a way that I couldn't open my door. I couldn't get out of the house. I couldn't get out of the house to retrieve my food. They locked me in. I just don't, where do they get these people? People that half their brain is missing. I couldn't get the food. I just can't take it. You know, sometimes you reach a point where it's funny, and then other points you understand why people are like running around shooting each other with guns. It's like unbelievable. You know, you read a story in the news, it's like, man shoots Instacart driver. And then you understand why, you know? You understand why after a while. The first reaction is, why is everyone so crazy? And then they lock you in and you want to shoot them. So it's not so crazy. But people are so out of control. I don't know what the pandemic has made people so crazy. So absolutely crazy. Anyway, not one person on YouTube is giving us a like. Do you hate us so much, YouTube? Come on. Give us a like. It helps our videos. It helps the channel. Join the channel. Join the channel. Subscribe. There's a lot of good stuff on here. So what are they expecting in the news? We could look at Financial Juice. They're not expecting a change in the data, okay? They're expecting it to match. They're expecting it to match. So that may not create very much of a move today. 68.8 was the previous. 65.9 is what they're expecting the previous. And conditions 73.2. And then inflation, the previous was 3.1 and 4.9, and they're expecting 4.9. So we may not get much of a move on this report today based on the expectations. Based on the expectations. Thank you, YouTubers, for giving us some likes. Thank you very much. You know, I don't think we've ever gotten a dislike. I shouldn't say that because someone will do it just to be the first. But I don't think we've had any dislikes. They should have a hate button. Hate this video. Hate this content creator. It fits for this world today. Hate. Everyone's filled with hate. I am not filled with hate. I don't live that way. A little bit of anger here and there. Yeah, pretty angry sometimes. I don't hate very many people. I'm not going to start listing who I hate because then people will get upset. But there are some people I do hate. Some people you'd be very surprised that I hate. Anyway, hate just takes so much out of you. Takes too much out of you. So we've got about 3 minutes waiting for revised University of Michigan. Revised University of Michigan. My gut feeling today is it's going to have a move. Okay. Now we're testing the trap on microgold. Okay. So I'm spreading the chart and then I'll move the news out of the way. The trap trade takes a minute or two to take place. Okay. Microgold is fine, especially fine for testing trap trades, and you can test them live too. It gives you a good indication. Now the gold market is not, it's not down $30 today. It's not up $20 today. It's only down $7. The gold open today looked like an amazingly beautiful trade. Oh man, look at this move at 820. It looked like a gift. 820 right here. Now you want to see, did it go up first? 10 ticks? I don't think so. Boom, 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 boom. What a great trade. If you trade the gold open and you know the first move is to be avoided, you have a pretty good trade. Pretty good trade. Did it move up at exactly at the open mark or not? Now you can use a different type of candle, right? If you want to. I don't use them very much. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's watch. Here comes the news. Now, it was an early move, okay? Early move. Now, the news is very negative. It's worse than expected. Gold, for whatever reason, moved early. Trap trade filled one tier, not the second tier, okay? I would probably cancel this. Now leave it. Leave it. Trap trade. You got to cancel the outer tier. Move your stop above break even and trail it up. Trap trade worked on one target. Now, the direction I would have expected with this news would have been up. But there is a little bit of a gold trend down. So it's struggling, right, to even hit that first target. And it could definitely be because it's revised data. It could be revised data, okay? So we're just watching. You know, would I just watch in a trade that isn't working? I usually don't just watch. You know, I would be thinking about trying to get out. I might combine my orders, right? Move them down. So if it changes direction, I would not be dying to watch it hit my stop, but it's so close to the stop now. If you tried to get out, it'll just stop you out. If you move too close to the current price, it'll just stop you out. And it's not going to work. The trade is not working. Well, you can't say it until it takes you out. Look. Can't say it until it takes you out. Certainly feels heavy. Certainly feels heavy. But this is why, honest, this is why I didn't want to trade it today. Now, miraculously, you survived the open, right? The stop. Now you have your targets. You don't want to be 2 ticks away, do you? If you have a clear, maybe a clear move that's going up. Now you could trail your stop so that your damage isn't too bad if it changes its mind. Now it looks like, is it tired? Definitely not an easy report to trade because you're not getting follow through anywhere. Okay. Not easy to trade. Bingo. So it would have cost you, if you traded it exactly like that, that was 8 ticks. Looks like 8 ticks. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look at the video. Let me show you the video. So the move, the news was a little bit surprising. I would have thought it would have moved more on surprising news, and it didn't. So it's University Mish. Let's look at the video. Let me just find the video. Where'd I put it? Hold on. There it is. Okay. Here we go. So here's the move. News comes out. We'll watch the trap Let's watch the trap trade first on the right. So there was an early move, okay, that I might have canceled the trade because that's unusual. That's not normal. It wasn't so big and scary, but it was abnormal, okay? That was an abnormal move before the report. And I think that that caused the breakout to not work very well, okay? The trap trade, on the other hand, you could see it fills. See, now I think that micro gold wasn't a good test. It was chopping all over, unlike the regular index. Not a good test, not meaningful, okay, because of the way in which it behaved. Micro gold is not trading normally. It's just not. It trades like an index that has no liquidity. That's what an index that has no liquidity looks like. So the micro gold trade is not valuable to help us with a test. So the breakout, it fills, gives you a chance to try and get out. It doesn't even hit the first target, though. It was a small first target, but it doesn't stop you out immediately. It looks like it's going to. It doesn't. Changes direction, gives you an opportunity to get out somewhere around there, and then it changes direction again. And depending where you put your stop, it ended the trade. Okay. All right. Any questions? Anybody got a question? Before we go, we're out of here for the weekend. I want to thank everybody. We had a really interesting week. We made a decent amount of money this week, more than 1,000 on all our trades. Anytime you can make 1,000 a week, that's fine. It's not a bad goal to have 1,000. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, I got to make 1,000 a day." Not easy to make 1,000 a day for most traders. I don't mind making 1,000 a week. The good trades this week. So the Australia CPI trade was excellent. There's no evening trades on a Friday, Steve. No earnings on Fridays. There's no earnings on Fridays because the market closes. The market closes at 4. And then what does it stay open until 5? I guess I don't even remember how late the market stays open on Friday. Chantal, was it stay open until 5 or 6? 5. But there's never earnings on Friday. So the trades of the week this week that we took live, 2 earnings trades were excellent. Australia CPI was a winner. Consumer confidence was a $10 winner. Microsoft was 300, over 300. API was a 40 loser. 7-year note lost 187, and then we made it back in that account on Microsoft. I believe, no, on Apple. We made it back on Apple in that account. And then our other account, our family money account, had 970 on Apple, 285 on Australia CPI. So we had a small loser on API, $40, and the 7-year bonds, 187 loser. So 11, 15, made about 1,200 looking at the reports. Okay. So Andrew, that's how we did. Australia CPI was excellent. Apple was excellent. Those were the best. Those were the 2 strongest trades this week. Okay. So I'll see everybody. I don't have the schedule in front of me for next week, but obviously you'll get an email. Check the website for the video, and I'll see everybody next week. We've got Amazon earnings, Google earnings, jobs report. So it should be an interesting week. Should be a lot of fun. So I'll see everybody next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll see you soon. Okay. YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Give us a like, sign up, hit the notification. We'll be streaming next week. Take care on YouTube. Bye, everyone.